What do you do when a spouse or loved one no longer recognizes you? Today on Baby Boomer University, we have a very special guest, Jill Gaffner Livingston of Global Training Experts. Jill will give us insight to this deadly disease and guide us to solutions that will better equip us to deal. I'm your host, Rich Sparks, and let's welcome Jill Gaffner. And cognitively, I can see people coming to that and saying, yes, this makes sense, the oxygen, but emotionally coming to that, that's just got to be a journey that is incredibly challenging. And how do you guide people along that route?
So first of all, we have to talk about it. That's the first thing.
Okay.
Because caregivers are silent, right? I mean, we are silent. It is a catch-22. Because if I complain about it, right, people are going to think I'm weak. But and I don't want to look weak. And certainly there's enough negativity in my world that I don't need to complain about it. And I don't want people to be afraid to approach me. So much of this is, number one, talking about it to people to say, listen, I recognize that my life is complicated. You know, I used to tell the kids, you know, this is not exactly how normal people live. If you want normal, you should probably check out the neighbor's house because it's not normal.
Right.
You know, it's not the way that we had. It's fun. It's wonderful. We have a wonderfully loving family, but it's not normal. And so I think talking about your care and the amount of time you're putting in and allows you to free up some of those interpersonal emotions that we hang on to. So letting people know if you need something. Now, people, we have a hard time asking for help.
Right.
And one of the reasons is because we don't want any emotional debt, right? If you come up and say, Jill, let me help you do this, my mind in a caregiver, even to this day, and Bob passed in 2012, even to this day, I will think, what will I owe you if you help me? Because I'm already in debt up to my ears. I don't need any emotional debt on top of it, right?
I can see that.
So you don't. You know, I can do it by myself. And our favorite word is fine. I'm fine.
Right.
You're doing okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine.
Good.
But and really we're struggling. So one of the greatest pleasures I have, when you say, am I passionate about this? I can't tell you how passionate I am, because to stand before people to say, I know that this is what you're feeling, and allowing them the freedom to go, yes, that's me.
You understand.
Yes, somebody understands. And so, you know, that's what personal positioning for the caregiver allows, is to say there are people that are just like you out there. You're not alone, because they're a lonely spot to be in. And so anyway, that was kind of the way life happened. Certainly didn't plan it. My yellow sticky notes just all found themselves in a publisher's house.
Now, for those millennials, that is not writing something on your phone. That's that's how I like to say my original 1965 Palm Pilot. Jot things down. Right. So as you're going through this now, and let's step back just a little bit, because you've developed not only a passion for this, but a whole company.
That's right.
Wrapped around. Tell us a little bit about the company and the services you offer. Then we'll go a little bit more on maybe some things that potential caregivers or even friends of caregivers and how to best help.
Terrific.
So tell us a little bit about your company.
Okay, so Global Training Experts, I actually opened that in 2008. And initially, because I had worked for Chrysler and I've been a corporate trainer for 25 years, I opened it because I took a buyout at Chrysler, and I thought, well, I can continue doing my automotive management type jobs. But the funny thing is personal positioning was out, and I kept getting calls to do events for personal positioning for caregivers and caregiver survival, and even the Catholic Church came and asked, you know, can you do some events for us to help us? And so automotive
and that
didn't
was from the book?
Well, it was the concept of the book of staying mentally healthy.
Okay. But I mean, that's how they found out about
right.
you.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
okay.
right. And so so all of a sudden, all these automotive classes, there was no one calling on those. It was just the caregiver survival and so forth. So knowing that people can't be great at everything, I thought
Sure,
I
certainly.
just want to go where my heart is. And so I went to the, staying with Dementia Care and caregiving survival and making sure I had the support in place for caregivers. Well, about 5 years ago, I thought I got to take this a step further because Bob was actually in 6 different facilities.
Wow.
And he got kicked out of 5. And when we make that choice to put our loved ones in a facility, it's extremely difficult. The torment in your head that says, I'm going to try every single thing I can before
Goodness.
I do that.
It's just like how many buckets of guilt can be
Yeah.
self-imposed
Yeah.
and then propped up by your sphere that doesn't quite understand what's going on.
Well, and you have to kind of play the movie in your head that you take this person that you love with all your heart.
Right.
And you walk into a facility and you have to admit there, I couldn't do it at home, right?
Absolutely.
And we couldn't do it at home.
Nor would he want you to.
Nor would he want to, and he willingly went in there. And of
Yes.
course, that's all part of the seminar to tell you exactly how that all went. But
Okay.
but the point of that is to make the decision of what place is good enough.
Right.
And what place is perfect? Because you're looking for perfect. Remember, we're still measuring on that angelic level.
Sure.
And so I'm looking for the perfect place. Well, all I wanted to hear is that perfect didn't exist. And that is something I say all the time, is that perfect was 10 years ago. Perfect doesn't exist right now. So let me find the second perfect place, right? Show me the second best place
Right.
that my loved one is going to be safe here, right? And you will take care of them and you will know what to do. Well, I mentioned Bob got kicked out. And because dementia is this gray area, and
Sure.
you could ask, nurses and medical professionals and doctors and so forth, how long did you study dementia? And unless that's their primary focus, they don't remember if they did in school.
Well, just a little side note. Like I had mentioned to you that I did go through an Alzheimer's training, and it was just a general training. It wasn't in depth or anything. But my concept, and I'm not the brightest bulb, but I'm pretty smart. I thought Alzheimer's, and I know that's just one type of dementia, but I thought it was just the synapses and the brains were misfiring, that the signal wasn't getting delivered. And when I went into this class and they showed me the cross sections of the brain, and it looked like Swiss cheese, that it wasn't misfiring, it was that the brain had been eaten away. It's just a whole different paradigm shift. And I think you're right. You're talking doctors, but the general populace really has a misunderstanding that this information is just not out there to them. And so I can totally understand what you're saying.
So
This stinks. I'm calling time to downsize.
I'm not going to let my old house keep me from my new life.
Hi, time to downsize?
Whether you're looking to move across the street or across the country, call Time to Downsize 248-480-7700.